night, 35 laps at the Charlotte Roval. The finale will be at the Charlotte Oval as we are underway. No chicane. Actually, there is a chicane off the first lap. And into that first chicane, we'll head towards the Tums Heartburn turn. As do we have problems already? Certainly looked like people were having some issues. But this race is indeed underway. The camera will focus on crashes all throughout this race. Let's see if we can at least get through the first lap cleanly. My hopes aren't that high. Chase Elliott, your pole sitter. Uh-oh, we got flickers on lap 1. Not good. But Chase Elliott, your pole sitter, has indeed held the lead off of the start of this race. We'll see how long that can last. But no actual crashes so far here on lap 1. To my real surprise, I really didn't think we were going to be able to make it through one lap cleanly. However, if you remember all the way back to the first time we did this, actually the second time we did this, at the Daytona Road Course, it was the backstretch chicane that was the biggest problem. And that's what we're coming up on now. So we'll see if we're able to make it through it cleanly. Looks like Red Wings and Evo having a little bit of disagreement. But I think we've all made it through. You should be sponsored by Hooters for the memes. Well, nothing saying we can't have 2 Hooters cars, but a little late in the season for a paint scheme change. Looks like a 5-car breakaway at the front of the field for the time being. The ticker is, of course, as always, confused. Never knows what it wants to do. That appears to be right. Chase Elliott, your leader after lap 1 as we head on to lap 2. Oh, for the 500? I'm sure there's got to be Hooters cars for the next gen, even if it's Chase Elliott. Also, a good time to plug the AI Daytona 500, which we will be doing as the 88 was sideways. The week of the actual Daytona 500. With a new CPU by that point, I would imagine. Hopefully to smoothen out the process. Got my eyes on the exact CPU that fits into, or that goes well with my graphics card, so hopefully we're going to be all right. You see all the tire rubber spitting off, all the marbles. Which goes to show you just how highly I turned up the graphics as Alex Bowman is around, hard into the wall. Single car accident from what we can tell, but the yellow will have to come out for the first time today. All right, so heading into the chicane, Bowman just decides to take the same line as you would single file, whereas he had Pastrana on his outside, and you can't really do that. We'll head into Chase Cam to confirm our suspicions. But it looks like Bowman essentially screwed himself. Pastrana comes down on him a little bit. And I mean, Pastrana turns in, but Bowman, I don't know. It's kind of tough to place blame on that one. Because it didn't really look like either car was going to give space there. So, I don't know. It's either penalize both of them or penalize none of them. And I think Bowman is penalized enough. We are green! We're finally back to green! And we're gonna stay that way. For better or worse. We're still gonna focus on crashes, of which there will be probably a good chunk. Just so everybody can keep up on their cars the best that they can. We are finally back to green. No ticker is probably for the best. I'm sorry, but it's going to have to be what it is. And the MX-5 paint job for the final. What? Nobody's updated paint schemes all season long as there's a cow in the grass. Saved it. No wreck back there. And this is going to get real wild if some of these cars decide to do what they did in Watkins Glen, and that is just run themselves out of gas. But we'll keep up on the race the best we can. Into the chicane, any issues? No. Looks like everyone's getting through cleanly. Good to see. If you get into trouble now, I can't help you. Even when Austin racing close. Dollar sign in there too. Ooh, that was close there between Evo and Chastain. Ross Chastain's been a little bit of a problem at times this season, but Josh Berry just behind this group. In fact, the camera focusing on him now, speaking of, has really been problematic at times. Liquid Death won't give you your own flavor, so you drop them. Well, there you are. I swear, the iRacing camera crew is listening to you here. Looks like Natalie Decker from Pat at the front of the field, from what I can tell. Kiwi banana? How do you have a kiwi banana flavored water? Focusing in on, well, was focusing in on Lucas. Now we're focusing in on a whole bunch of different cars. That is the downside to the focus on crashes, but since the game won't just throw automatic yellows at road courses, this is kind of what we have to do. Although, I guess maybe not anymore. Now that there's no yellows, we can just focus on, let's just head to the front of the field. Which I actually buttoned all the way through. Alex Bowman still in the pit lane. And there is your leader, and Natalie Decker. So we'll do it ourselves. We'll head through the field on our own, but for the most part, I think we stick up here at the front. If anything happens to your car and you miss it, I'm sorry. But we'll note it the best that we can from what we can see. So that second grouping of cars is starting, I think, to close in a little bit. The breakaway was a lot bigger. So maybe Natalie holding up the line here a little bit. Do we have to find Natalie a new paint scheme? I think I mentioned this before. Feels a little ick that she's got an OnlyFans car now that she's like actually pregnant with like her boyfriend, fiance, whatever. I don't know. It's still Natalie Decker though. Chase Elliott looking for a move into the backstretch chicane, backs out of it, Pat up the inside, and Pat gets turned. Huge points implications, and we just saw it happen right in front of us. And he drops all the way to the back of the field. Finally gets it back going again. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we saw what happened here to Pat. It looked like the same thing that happened to Bowman. So here we go. This is Blimp Cam, zoomed in by quite a bit. And yeah, Pat just goes up the inside, and I mean, that's just not the line. Chase Elliott, it's the exact same thing that happened to Alex Bowman without the hard contact on the wall. A couple cars in the pit lane, and now Natalie Decker with a huge breakaway now after that incident. Is that a race-winning move from Natalie Decker, being out front when chaos happened? Wow. The point standings implications on that one. Pat's been up there really all season long. Has a win to his credit at the Indy Oval, which was also chaos. Now Chase Elliott trying to run down Natalie Decker, and with no yellows, who the hell knows? The AI seems to rubber band. Not as bad as, you know, some other games out there. They do only slightly, just because I think their driver skill may change as the race moves along. Like they're not on their game for the entire race. Not sure what's going on here. I don't like that. There's the cars in the pit lane. And in through the pack. Got Squid in here towards the back. See if we can get a focus in on everyone's car. Jeff making a move, I think, on Kyle Busch. That works out. Jeff right in behind Evo. Are you? Let's see. What is it? Where is it? In Maine? Arizona iced tea. That's actually a pretty good scheme. Oh God, what is the other one though? What in the hell? You had an oops? Did you? No, you're, well, maybe a little bit in terms of dropping in positioning. However, still running. Let's check the standings. That's position number 7. Kind of right about where you've been. Yep, 7th place, just way off the back of the pack. Or not the back of the pack, way off the leader. Although, does that math? Natalie Decker is our leader, right? Yeah, okay. So, let's take a look. Natalie Decker still pacing the field by a good bit after the incident between the 2nd and 3rd place cars, Chase Elliott and Pat. But once again, I think the right thing to do is just not place blame on that. Because, I mean, the car that's really the most at fault, I think, is the car that's trying to send it up the inside when there's not really space to do that. And especially with the racing line the way that it is, you pretty much just go almost straight through here. There's just not enough room for cars to really go too wide, unless they're going to give each other room. And neither one of those cars wants to do that. So it's really the fault of the car that dives, that tries to make the move. Pat was the car in that instance, and Alex Bowman was earlier. At least Pat didn't wreck it. Now, there will be pit stops at some point, as we are here on lap 16. Austin will not be back to see lap 16. We know there will be pit stops necessary. At least one in this race, because some cars pitted under that first yellow. Let's take a look back at the battle in this pack as the leaders have continued to hold their gap. In fact, Natalie Decker, I think, has stretched that gap over Chase Elliott. Haley Deegan leading this pack, but some good separation between all of these cars. So any sort of move that could be made right now is probably a dive that we'd be trying to focus on anyway. So it is Natalie Decker, Chase Elliott, Hailie Deegan, last race winner Austin Cindric 4th. Let's figure this out on back. Caleb 5th. Bell is 6th. Luke is 7th. And Bubba Wallace in 8th. Ash has fallen down here a little bit. Down to 9th. You know what? I might have been looking at the wrong thing. Ash is 9th in the race. Cindric looks like he might have a run. Bell might have a run on all these guys as we head in to the front stretch chicane. Caleb trying to go to the outside, now the inside on Cindric. Might be side by side into the Tums Heartburn turn. No, Cindric pulls away just a little bit. Did something happen to Bubba Wallace back there? Is Bubba all right? He certainly seemed slow. Now, I thought I saw some damage, but no. He might be having something going on. Sideways through there. But nope, Bubba's all right. Chaos down here. Lucas got it a little sideways in the Hooters car. Check back in on the top view is now Hailie Deegan's trying to separate herself from that pack. And all alone at the front still remains Natalie Decker. So I don't know who the cars were that pitted under that first and only yellow of the race. But they might have a real advantage here. I don't know if 5-6 laps is, however long it was, is going to be enough to really make that much of a difference. As Bowman still in the pits with all that damage, that's going to be a long time. Josh Berry picked up some damage at some point that we missed. Ricky Bobby's in here, although his car looks fine. And then Hamlin and Allmendinger, they feel like they've been here a while, and I'm not really sure why. Ricky Bobby, just a routine pit stop. But then the others, I think they've just been sitting there for a little bit. And now back to our leader in Decker. Chase Elliott's still not really doing much of anything. If only the CPU were to catch up, then we could throw a fun yellow, but not sure we want to mess around with that. So here in the back of the field, Pat, who had a very quick car before the incident into the chicane, not able to make up much ground. Although he was a good chunk behind all these guys. After the wreck, he had to wait till everybody went through to make any sort of a move to get back going again. So now he's just trying to salvage the best finish that he can. However, his main championship rival, Squid, is just a few spots up, so this could get really interesting as Pat is to the inside of Dale Jr. Got loose, and now might lose a spot, and he does. Don't know if that car is going to be handling as well on the tires it's got after its spin. You wouldn't think so. Maybe the back of the pack is the safest place to run with camera-wise. Generally, we're going to see just about every car that might be stopped on the track. It was pretty late in the Watkins-Glen race where the problems with the cars running out of gas really started, so we'll see how late we get before any sort of problems might occur. As Denny Hamlin's back out on track, as is A.J. Allmendinger. Now, where are they in the order? Allmendinger is 6 laps down, so is Hamlin. Will Powers a lap down, Ricky Bobby 2, Joey Logano 2, Josh Berry now 3, who I still believe sits in the pit lane, and Alex Bowman 16 laps down. As Decker still leads, 5-second lead, almost 6, over Chase Elliott. Well, we've seen Ricky Bobby make a pit stop already. I wonder if maybe he's one of the cars to watch that could come away and steal this win away from Natalie Decker, who's really only move, I think, right now is to continue to try and just run away with it. We shall see. But a pit stop is going to happen. That's Ricky Bobby. Chase Elliott, good ways behind. However, Hailie Deegan is kind of closing in on Chase Elliott here. But the rest of this pack, a little bit too slow. They're not really catching Chase or the others. I don't know. I really do think the advantage in this race right now sits with those that pitted under that first caution. There weren't a ton of those cars, but there were enough to the point that I just don't know how well Natalie Decker's race is going to go. Anyone that's really out front right now. Lap 20, we've got 15 to go. Once we finally got this race back green again. And that's why the 35 lap races are perfect, like time-wise. However, it's just, it always kind of falls apart when we can't get the race back green for whatever reason for the longest time. Is Austin Cindric might be a little slow. Maybe just had a bad corner. I guess we'll see as this goes on. Something to pay attention to. He looks like he's going fine. But Christopher Bell takes that place away. That would be 4th. Caleb sitting 6th right now, our highest placing chat member. Been a rough stretch. I don't know what that was, but I didn't like whatever it was. What the fuck happened there? Why does it sound like they're pacing? Why does it look like they're pacing? Are we gonna... What? What? Huh? I think we're racing again? I can't really tell. Natalie Decker's going fine. I have no idea what any of that was. I didn't do anything. I wasn't even touching the keyboard when that happened. That certainly looks like Allmendinger up there is just pacing. Is Natalie Decker the only car on track running at full speed? Hamlin looks fine. Larson's going out wide for whatever reason. Bowman's still in the pit lane. I know this is a terrible idea. Terrible idea. But we're going to bring out the yellow. I don't know what any of that was. So we're going to try and bunch these cars up together again and hope we can get the race back green. Apparently we're green. I don't really care what happens from this point forward. We have taken the green flag. We have found the workaround. Natalie Decker is your leader. From Chase Elliott, Hailie Deegan, Christopher Bell, and I think Caleb, but it looked like Cindric was trying to make a move in back there. Potentially for 5th place. Caleb held him off, and now Lucas is hounding him. This is lap 29. So still a ways to go in this race. At least we'll get a chance at a green flag finish. There are no yellows the rest of the way, no matter what happens. If the game has a stutter again and everybody but the leader stops running at full speed, I don't care. We are not going back to a yellow flag. We got both of the female NASCAR drivers up there. Natalie Decker leading the race. Hailie Deegan in 3rd. And as much of a nuisance as they've been at times this season, they really haven't been up here with a chance to win a race at any time. And Natalie Decker right now is doing just that. I think we saw earlier that Natalie was faster than Chase, but now that they're right closely tight up together here, we'll see if that changes anything. Pit stops of all times! Oh my goodness, who's gonna take over the race lead? All that caution, and now they come in. Oh, chaos! Put Red Wings as your leader. Austin all of a sudden is in second place. Which one of these cars has to pit? Does anybody have to pit the rest of this race? Oh, come on! Whoa, contact between Red Wings and Austin there. Pastrana getting in the mix. And do we have cars out of gas, or did Travis Pastrana just get a run from hell? They're up on the banking. We just got out from our second caution. I had to throw a caution because every car except our leader just stopped running race speed. They went back down to pace speed. Pastrana, your leader. Red Wings second. Austin third. Dale Jr. fourth. And Pat, who had the incident in this very chicane earlier in the race, back up in the running. But now, what pit stops occur now? After all those yellow flag laps, we had pit stops. None of our leaders come in. Contact between D. Kuzmic and Dale Jr. I thought from the very get-go that those cars had just kept running after some early pit stops from those back in the pack were going to be potential race deciders. Austin looking to the inside for second. I think he's going to get it. For the moment he does. Can he clear the inside challenge from Red Wings? Not quite. Pastrana's trying to start to pull away. And Travis Pastrana, we can't forget, he was involved in the early race accident with Pat. Wasn't Pastrana's fault, but Travis Pastrana is trying to start to pull away. Peacing out as Austin's cleared for second. We are on lap 31 of 35. Travis Pastrana's running away. I can't really tell you why. So we'll focus back in on our second place car, Austin. Gone around Red Wings, Dale Jr., who's been at the back of the pack all day. And truth be told, these group of cars, most of these that you see on screen, they were the back of the pack at the start of the race. So they just might not be very quick, and Travis Pastrana might be the only quick one. Your car is in the wrong spot. It was tailing around at the end of the field all day. If Pat gets around, and Squid's up here too, I mean, the points battle that we thought was going to get so much more interesting after Pat spun and Squid was just kind of having a dud of a race. All of a sudden, these cars find their way up at the front of the field late again. Pastrana's piecing out. Any cars with some trouble? Jeff's way off the pace for whatever reason. Dollar sign, and then this should be a pack of cars. All the cars that just pitted. Up front, all race. And one ill-timed pit stop. And they're 2 corners behind. Look at all the chaos back in here. And I even think, let's just, oh wait. Nope, never mind. Alex Bowman has made it back out onto the racetrack. Bowman, who had the incident on lap 4, lap 5, whatever it was. All those repairs. He's found his way back out here. Quick check. 23 laps down. So back through all these guys. We'll go back to the front of the field. That's Pastrana. Austin chasing behind now. Let's see if he's got anything left. Lap 32. Yeah, this may put a big wrinkle in the dead fucking last plans. What franchise is after? Red Wings. We'll regroup after Red Wings, see what else we might possibly have time for. Does Austin have enough left to try and challenge Pastrana? And does Pastrana have enough to make it to the end? I mean, it's hard to say. We've seen late pit stops before. 3 laps to go. I went hard on the brakes in there. Felt like a little bit too much. Ooh, another offensive lineman. Good. That Portland team just, I can't figure it out. I can't tell what we need. You look at the roster, you think we'd be fine at defensive back, but for whatever reason, we just cannot get much of anything going right. Little separation between Austin and Dale Jr. for now. But with only 3 laps to go, 2.5, really. I don't think that's enough time to catch Travis Pastrana. So that points battle heading into the finale on this very same racetrack, albeit the oval version. The Charlotte Oval. That points battle is really, I think, going to be between 2 cars. That is Pat and Squid. Dale Jr. with a challenge on Austin. Not able to get around him for now, but gets a nose in there as Dale Jr. makes a attempt at a pass for second. Austin will have the inside for the next corner. Can he fend him off? Heading into the hairpin. No! Dale Jr. makes his way around. And then shot out of a cannon trying to catch Pastrana. With now 2 to go as Junior's way loose. Let's take another look around the racetrack. Pit lane is clear. It's just Jeff way back behind the field. Jeff, I don't think in last. That belongs to Bowman. Jeff is actually the second to last car in the lead lap. So the focus now is on the 8 car of Dale Jr. trying to catch the 199 of Travis Pastrana. With 2 to go here from the Roval. A chaotic race, but certainly not the most chaotic that we've had. I just do not think, unless something absolutely drastic happens, that Dale Jr.'s got enough time. I think he's a couple seconds off of Pastrana. 3 cars in between Pat and Squid. Are they all for position? No, there's only 1 separating Pat and Squid position-wise. D. Kuzmic in the middle of them. Any cars elsewhere are indeed lap traffic as Austin makes his way around Dale Jr. as we are on the final lap from the Charlotte Roval. And I don't think, unless Pastrana decides to pit on the final lap of the race, that they're going to catch him. He's going to have to spin himself out, and I just don't think that's going to happen as the 199 makes his way through the infield here at the Roval. I mean, what a great strategy move, although that line does look a little closer, but still way too far back. What a strategy move. Get involved in the first caution of the day. Pit, most likely. And then you're in great situation. You're in a great situation at the end of the race. Onto the oval for the final time for the 199. Just a couple more chicanes to get through. Dale Jr. trying to make something happen on Austin for second heading into the chicane. That will not happen. Travis Pastrana. I mean, just imagine where this race could have been if Pastrana had been dealt a penalty in that first incident. Not his fault. He's going to come across the line to win at the Charlotte Roval. Travis Pastrana. Battle for second place. I do believe Dale Jr. got it. 69 is a lap down. That car's not a concern. So let's take a look at the standings here. Pat finishes 2 spots ahead of Squid. In the battle for the championship, Austin finishes 3rd. Dale Jr. did indeed pass Austin. And there were no real incidents after that final restart. It felt like everybody was just driving as clean as they could. It's almost like the AI knew that it was a bit of a mistake to potentially bring out any sort of yellow again. But there is your race winner, the 199, Travis Pastrana. And that might, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be the second win of the year for this car. The series has started all the way back in, oh, Lord knows, probably, I don't know. It was the whole series was always meant to be a filler in between our Gran Turismo endurance races. What a debacle those were for a different reason. But just in between those, we were just trying to do something. Started that in Gran Turismo. Of course, that was a mistake. Came over here to iRacing, and outside of CPU issues, this is about the best we could have hoped for. That's the thing. The only thing that's wrong with this series so far has been technical. Once we fix those technical problems, we'll be in good shape. But there's your race winner in race 9 of 10 here on the season. The 199 of Travis Pastrana.